Ashley, Boise State, so familiar with Coleman Coliseum. They just competed here in the Tuscaloosa Regional last season, but their motto this year is unfinished business. Why is that?
That's right, Hannah. The seniors came up with that unfinished business. They want to close out their bid to nationals this season, and to do that, they need to help their RQS by having a high road score, and Coleman Coliseum is the place to do that.
Now Alabama without All-American Kiana Winston. She's resting her shoulder. Who will step up for her?
Well, that's one of the things Coach Duckworth was excited about. The depth of this Alabama team will be tested tonight, so look for a different athlete on all four apparatuses to step up for Kiana tonight.
Alabama will start off on vault, and Maddie Desch, the freshman, is the one that's stepping up for Kiana on this event.
That's right. They had lots of different folks or gymnasts that they could have put into this lineup, and Maddie won that spot tonight for Alabama on the vault to fill in for Kiana, so look for her.
Four spot, but leading off is senior Keely McNair from Madison, Mississippi. She's the rock of the team, says head coach Dana Duckworth, a steady mainstay as a leadoff in 2 rotations.
That's right. She calls her reliable and consistent.
Her season high is 9.85.
Hitting a Yurchenko full. Good start for Alabama. You're really going to want to look for them at this point in the season to be fighting for those landings. Comes into the vaulting table a little low there in crunch, as you can see. Her head almost touched the horse, but still a good start for Alabama. She didn't give any form away.
Over on the bars we go for Boise State. Leading off is Ann Stockwell, the junior from Newcastle, California. She's also the rock for the Broncos, says Coach Tina Bird. And she's the biggest surprise of the season for Coach Bird. She only competed on 1 event last season. Now she will be in 3 today.
Good for her.
Her career high is 9.9 on bars, season high 9.875.
This by far is Boise State's strongest event. They're ranked the highest of all the other events for this one, so look for some big skills, hitting the handstands, and fighting for those landings. Jumps up, simple mount from the inside of the bar. So shoots a handstand to a ginger is what that release move is called. Hack salto to transition to the low bar. She's really deliberate, kind of slow with her swing, which is okay. She does hit that handstand to end. Coach Resnick in there for just in case, and a big start for Boise State, nailing that landing.
She's stuck, and that's one of the things that Coach Bird said. They need to stick landings today because in the regionals, they did not.
Yeah, let's take another look at that dismount. She's just cranking those giants, full twisting double tuck, and drills the landing, throws the head back. Good start for them.
Back over on vault. Freshman from Spearfish, South Dakota, Winter Childers, who competed in the all-around last week against Auburn for the first time.
Struggled a little bit in touch warm-up for this. Yurchenko full vault, but does a good job nailing it there.
Yes,
doesn't quite get the distance that you'd like to see, but boy, did she drill that landing. You see right here, she doesn't quite get that height, but just falls right down into it. As you can see right here, she's kind of almost hip level with the horse. So look for her to improve on that next time out.
Back to bars, Mackenzie Binion, senior from Las Vegas, Nevada. Her season high and career high is a 9.875. She hit that score in the last 2 meets.
Huge Shaposhnikova, immediate transition to the low bar. Beautiful combination there. She will get some bonus points for connecting all those skills. And she was drilling this in warm-ups. Let's see what she can do here. Double layout. And again, it's like her feet are just glued to the ground. Every single one in warm-up, she did just like that.
Coach Bird likes that. 2 for 2 stuck landings for the Broncos. They only stuck 4, she said, at the Tuscaloosa Regional. They're looking to do much, much more.
Well, so far they are 2 for 2, so they're well on track to do that.
Back over on vault number 3 in rotation, Maddie Desch, the freshman. And what a fun gymnast to watch. First season high, 9.825 on vault, former elite national team member.
Dana said she's really finding the love in gymnastics again and truly loving performing and just really having fun. Yurchenko full. Another big vault for Alabama. A little bit more distance from the horse. You'll see the vaults as they get in the lineup get bigger and bigger. So let's check out that distance again that she gets. You can see a little bit more height than the previous vault. Straight body position and just spots that landing. Just a small, slight hop back.
Courtney McGregor, a freshman, and her resume, Ashley, is outstanding. 2015 World Gymnastics champion in Scotland. She competed in Rio, but bars is her top performance. Season high, career high 9.9. She won it last week against Utah State.
Yeah, just an incredible athlete, lots of experience. You can see just in the way she swings bars. She's used to being here, doing this every single day. And just a nice full out, dismount, small step back on the landing. One of the things the coach said about her is that a lot of times when you come from elite gymnastics, it's kind of hard to have fun, but she said she's smiling now, coming into her own, having some fun. You see there on the dismount, a little smirk there, spite for that landing.
Abby Armbrecht is up on vault, sophomore from Mobile, Alabama. Season high 9.875 on vault. Her career best against number 3 Florida just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Coach Duckworth says she's the most improved from last year, and that is a big vault, that height, the distance. Just once again, the Alabama has the big vault, the good execution, nice form. Just have to figure out a way to fight for all those landings. See here, nice height, nice body position, just that hop back.
Over to bars, Shani Remy and Stockwell got a 9.8, Mackenzie Binion 9.875. And Shani's season high is a 9.925. She was the 2016 MRGC Freshman of the Year last year.
Deeper in their bar lineup too.
That's the Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference too, if you were wondering at home what the MRGC is.
Nice combination there, blind change to a piked Jaeger. Hits that handstand, overshoot, and just kind of showing off there a little bit, holding that handstand for the transition. And again, very methodic how she swings bars, deliberative about the handstands, double layout dismount, and just a little hop. So they started off 2 for 2, and the next 2, just a little step. Take a look at that transition again. A lot of times you'll see athletes just kind of, flow out of it, but she stays there. That is in control. Well executed.
Back over on vault, Abby Armbrecht just at a 9.875. Here's Nikki Guerrero, the junior from McKinney, Texas. She's hit first on vault twice this season. Her high is a 9.95.
And she doesn't quite get the height and the form, as you'll see on this blind 1.5 landing, but if she sticks it, it makes all the difference in the world. Once again, difficult vault, a little bit of cross legs in the body position, but when she drills that landing and doesn't give anything else away, she has the potential, as you said, to score huge.
Team members got excited about that one.
Yes, they did. You see that leg, just a little slight bend there, but her reaction was amazing. She really gets into it.
Mackenzie Binion hit a 9.875 on bars, but the co-head coaches, Tina Bird, Neil Resnick for Boise State, they're both in their 10th seasons with the Broncos, and both were the conference coaches last year.
So they have had a heck of a season. They said arguably this might be one of the best seasons that they've had, gone 197 back-to-back.
For the first time ever. They went 15-0 in the regular season last year, 18-2, best in program history.
in a full twisting double layout dismount. Very, very high level of difficulty on that dismount, and she just drilled that landing. You won't see too many athletes perform this at the NCAA level. A little bit of a pike down, but that is very difficult to do, folks.
Hugs all around. They're happy with that one. And anchoring vault, Katie Bailey. She's normally in the vault anchor spot, the senior from North Carolina. She was the NCAA vault champion and SEC vault champion last year.
This is, in essence, a perfect ball that she can stick it every single time. When she finally gets one this season, that's going to be a huge score. There's really no critiquing or anything you can say about that ball. It is nearly perfect. She's been getting stronger and stronger the whole season. As you see there, good height, good body position. She kind of opens up, landing blind, and just stays there for good measure.
She's 15th nationally on vault and bars, and there you can see why. She's also an All-American on both of those events.
Very talented young lady.
Over on bars, Deanna Mejia, the senior from Vancouver, Washington. She's a co-captain.
Huge Takachev release move in the beginning. Gets way, way high up above the bar. Nice set there. It's okay, folks, for the coach to stand in. You will see them do that often. No, they're just there just in case. Just the dismount left. She was drilling these in warm-ups as well. And no different there in competition.
That was actually Abby Webb, which was a very last-minute change, actually.
Because
Sandra Coyantes is struggling with a knee injury. Abby Webb here anchored, and this must have been a very, very last-minute change.
And she did warm up, so she was obviously ready to go and put up a nice bar set.
Coach Bird and Coach Neil Resnick did tell us that was a possibility. So we are through one rotation between Alabama and Boise State. We will have Alabama on bars, Boise State on vault next on the SEC Network. Welcome back to Coleman Coliseum. Number 4 Alabama versus number 12 Boise State here in Tuscaloosa. We're through one rotation. Alabama just scored a team score of 49-275 on vault. Boise State 49-125 on bars.
I think really solid start for both teams. Of course, both would have loved to have some more stuck landings, but Boise displaying their beautiful bar lineup and Alabama doing the same on vault.
Katie Bailey led Alabama on vault with a 9.925. Great for the senior.
And this really is an outstanding performance from the defending NCAA champ on this event. She finally gets one and is rewarded with that 9.925.
For Boise State, Mackenzie Binion led on bars with a 9.875.
Drilled this in warm-ups over and over. Double layout, solid, shows it off, and a good solid performance for them.
Boise State really ramping up their program. They're doing such good things, both Coach Tina Bird and Neil Resnick. And for the first time, actually, in program history, they've had 2 athletes compete in the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio. That's Courtney McGregor. She represented New Zealand with teammate Isabella Amato. She represented Panama. Courtney McGregor finished 13th on vault, 41st on the all-around. And how awesome to have an athlete with that experience on your team.
It's amazing, and you see how that transfers over so well to college athletics, and you're starting to see that more and more in the NCAA. Gymnasts from all over the world coming and competing. So it's exciting for the fans, it's exciting for the school, and it's great for the sport.
I know it can be difficult to transition to college athletics. It's a little bit different, but Coach Tina Bird says she's finally smiling this week for the first time all season.
That's right, and it's exciting to see them kind of just let go and have fun.
Alabama on bars, Boise State on vault, here next on the SEC Network. The 38th annual SEC Women's Basketball Tournament starts Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern from Greenville, South Carolina, and it's right here on the SEC Network. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. So we're through one rotation. Alabama 49-275 on vault. Boise State 49-125 on bars. And Boise State's gearing up for vault.
Yeah, they've warmed up very, very well. And I think the highlight for Boise on vault is going to be the former Olympian, Courtney McGregor. Watched her warm up. She's got a beautiful vault with the potential to score very, very high. And of course, Alabama on the bars, they have their rock. Keely McNear is going to lead them off. And the person stepping in for Kiana on this event is going to be Winter. So we'll look to see how she does testing that depth for Alabama.
Boise State in the RQS, 16th on vault, 6th bars, 13th on beam, and 29th on floor. So floor seems to be their Achilles heel.
That's right, where they can make the biggest improvement. And as we already saw, they're solid on bars, ranked in the top 10 there. So hopefully they can put up a good road score that'll help some of these rankings a little bit for their events.
RQS of 49.045 here as they get set for vault. See Shani Remy giving a little dance moves. It's funny because we were talking to Coach Neal about the pronunciation of her name, and he says he remembers Shani by calling her Shanae.
Shanae.
Which makes no sense.
No sense at all, but he said she kind of takes on a little bit of that persona and that personality a little bit too. She's a little quirky, so a little fun info there.
Alabama RQS scores as well. Vault 5th, bars 5th, beam 3rd, and floor 3rd. Much improvement from the beginning of the season.
Absolutely. They've had a really rocky kind of up and down season, losing to some teams that you don't expect to happen for Alabama. But one thing they always do on the road, they perform. And that's how that RQS score is calculated. So it helps them a lot.
Yeah, Ashley, tell me a little bit more. What is that RQS score?
So the RQS is what they do when they take the team's top 3 road scores, and then they take the next top highest scores, regardless of whether they're home or away. They drop the highest score and average the remaining 5. So that's why we talk about Boise State wanting to put up a good road score. It matters what you score on the road. Alabama has scored 197 plus on the road. Boise State hasn't quite happened to get there, so it would help their RQS tremendously in their bid to nationals this year.
Yeah, we talked about it before the meet. The Broncos are sitting on that 195 at Denver. So if they do a really good job here tonight, that could bump them back into the top 10 in
Absolutely.
RQS.
I believe that it would definitely put them back in the top 10 if they have a successful high road score here tonight.
Well, Coach Bird's motto is unfinished business. We've seen multiple stuck landings tonight, and here leading off on vault, Mackenzie Binion. She's led off last week. Her season high is a 9.8.
Yurchenko layout half. Same vault we saw Katie Bailey end with. Blind landing, very difficult, but she did have good body position throughout. Just fighting a little bit more for those landings.
Over on bars, Keely McNear will once again lead off, followed by Asia Sims, Shay Mahoney. Winter Childers is the one filling in for junior Kiana Winston. Amanda Jetter and Kaylee Bailey will once again anchor on bars. So here's Keely McNear. She got second on bars last week versus Auburn with a 9.875. That was her season high.
And starting off very strong, huge release move there. So far fighting for every handstand. This is an athlete too that Dana says just relishes. She loves being in that lead-off spot and setting the tone for the lineup on the 3 events that she leads. Just that dismount left. Double layout. Almost gets the landing.
Tiny
Teeny step. Check out her release move. Toe on, toe off. Hecht. Gets nice amplitude, nice position in the air. Good start for Bama on bars.
Here's Shani Remy, the sophomore. 9.850 is her season high on vault.
Has the ability to score pretty big. Solid score for them will be good. Yurchenko full and nails that landing. She almost looked like she was a little surprised there on the landing, and she stuck it. Good amplitude, good position. And that'll be a good score for Boise on vault.
Here's Asia Sims on bars, the senior from Orlando, Florida. She missed the last meet last week against Auburn here in Coleman with an injury. She's looking to redeem herself here on bars tonight.
And comes off there on that release move. She just gets a little bit of a bad angle coming off. It puts her a little bit far away from the bar on that release move. And obviously, the most important thing is going to be for her to finish up this routine solid and not give any more tenths away. Double layout, dismount, and a step back. So hopefully Alabama will be able to drop that score from Asia. Like I said, she was out last week. So let's take a look at that release move again.
Uncharacteristic fall for Asia.
That's right. She comes out just a little too far here and can't quite get her grips over the bar to hang on. So she'll be disappointed with that, but we're testing the depth for Alabama tonight, is what Coach Duckworth has said.
Here's Paige Urquhart, the senior from Maple Grove, Minnesota. She worked her way up into the vault lineup today.
Her first appearance on vault. It's a pretty good one. Not the distance or the height that you like to see on the vault, just a step on the landing. But other than that, pretty clean. She can definitely work on that a little bit, make some improvements here. As you see the height, a little bit of a pike down as well. Just a step back, really spotting that landing.
And that is her vault debut. This season, she's only competed on beam and floor.
And her teammates really excited for her getting in that vault lineup, you can tell.
Freshman Shay Mahoney on bars now. A legacy elite gymnast. She was the 2013 USA Junior Olympic National Floor Champion. But here she is on bars. She had her best score against Kentucky, where she placed second, a 9.9.
This will be a test for this freshman as well after Asia Sims just came off on the routine before her. So far doing a pretty good job. Overshoot to handstand. Coach Duckworth says she's gaining more experience and understanding the need to be consistently consistent in practice. And that always transfers over into competition when they can do that. Full twisting, double back. And gets this lineup going back in the right direction after that fall from Asia. Full twisting, double back.
She's so fun to watch. We went to a couple of their practices this week, and she is just all smiles.
Yes, and full of energy.
Mary Frances Burnow on vault for Boise State, redshirt junior from Huntington Beach, California. Second team All-MRGC on the vault last season. And Coach Bird told us she's their most consistent vaulter.
So once again, we'll look for the body position, the height that she'll get. She won't do the Yurchenko. She'll do a front pike half out, which is a very difficult vault. Different than what you'll normally see from a lot of college athletes.
But 38th in the country and 9.835 average.
See, she really wants to get that height here, open up and spot that landing. Chest was just a little low, so it would make it difficult to go after that landing.
The score we have for Alabama on bars, we see Asia Sims with a 9.125. Winter Childers, the freshman, who once again, like I said before, competed in the all-around for the first time last week, stepping up for Asia Sims. We'll see what she can do here on bars. She's competed 3 times this season on this event.
She's really doing a good job. She looks real confident up there, flowing through this routine. Nice dismount, spots the landing. And
a little hot for the freshman.
That's right. Check out this dismount. She'll come off frontwards, do a half into a back.
Ann Stockwell now, the junior from Newcastle, California. Vault is one of her best events. She's the MRGC vault champion.
She's got a huge vault prepared. Chinko 1.5, and she nailed those in warm-ups. And you never want to take a step back, especially on those blind landings. So it'll be a little bit more of a deduction. Doesn't quite get the rotation to get after that landing, but still a good vault. Chooses to throw that difficulty out there.
Score update as well. Boise State 88.350. Alabama so far 78.050. And Amanda Jetter now on bars. This is her best apparatus. She hit her season best against Florida just a few weeks ago, 9.9. She's placed first and second twice this season.
She is just so meticulous with every single part of this routine. Nailing that first handstand into a toe-on-toe-off hecht, also known as a Hindor. Overshoots your handstand, immediate transition up to the high bar. This bar routine has the ability to score very, very high. She does a double front dismount, blind landing. And she goes after it. It'll be a little deduction. That wouldn't quite be considered a stick, but strong routine nonetheless from Amanda Jetter.
23rd nationally on bars. We'll find out her score very shortly. Updated scores on vault for Boise State. Mackenzie Binion, 9.775. Paige Urquhart, 9.775. And here is Courtney McGregor, the World Gymnastics champion. She also competed in the 2016 Summer Olympics, of course. 9.850 is her season and career best on vault.
She's got a huge vault here prepared. She nailed this in warm-ups. She'll do your Chinko 1.5 twist. It can't quite get that landing. It's a pretty big step forward, but nonetheless, one of the more difficult vaults that you'll see performed in college gymnastics. Look at that again. Gets good height. A little bit of leg bend in the position, but height, distance is good. And of course, you gotta stick the landing. That's the last thing the judges see.
And anchoring for Alabama on bars, Katie Bailey. She's the SEC bars champion. She's placed first twice this season with scores of 9.925.
Beautiful bar worker. She's got one of the most beautiful release moves and dismounts that you will see. Very clean lines, transitioning. Just that dismount left, and she fights for that handstand.
Got it.
And that's what coaches want to see. You fight for every 10. I think that mistake there kind of got her a little rattled for that dismount. She took a few steps on the landing. Definitely not what you want to see from your closer, but they got it done.
We're through 2 full rotations here in Tuscaloosa. Boise State with a 9.8250 so far. Alabama 97.725 without Katie Bailey's score. We will be back with beam and floor next on the SEC Network. Welcome back to Coleman Coliseum. It's Alabama versus Boise State here on the SEC Network. We just got through 2 rotations. Alabama hit a 49.1 on bars, 49.275 on vault, and beam, their very best rotation, is coming up next. They're 3rd in the country on beam, and it takes an army to be on that good of a beam team, actually.
It definitely does, and they have the right head coach for it, with her being a national champion on that event herself. She knows how to get them ready.
Let's go inside an Alabama beam practice and see how Coach Duckworth gets them ready.
Boom, boom, boom. Yes, yes. That makes it just much more polished. The judges are looking for rhythm. They're looking for nice movement. They're looking for high releve in the toes and a 180 split in the leaps. So right here, switch split, split jump, straddle, quarter. Her series of back handspring layout gives her 4/10 bonus. Beautiful neck. She sets up for a dismount, which has to be at least of a C value, which is a round off, 1.5. Squeeze. And she covers the finish. We call this the little guy. It's actually a gainer back pike off the end. It's a C value. And that was an absolutely flawless routine. This is another series that Kiana does, a back handspring layout 2-foot. Pound on that beam, girl, come on. And up, nice. Beautiful. Finish, nice. Nice routine, winner, good. Good.
Awesome look there inside the Alabama Gymnastics practice gym. Ashley, you have so much experience working with Dana Duckworth. What's she like as a coach?
Dana is the perfect person to take over from the Pattersons as the head coach of this program because of the energy and the enthusiasm that she brings. When I was there, she was only a volunteer assistant coach, and it was just amazing. Like I said, the insight that she has, the experience she has, and the energy that she brings to the program. She can get the best out of it for sure.
Well, gymnastics fans are going to want to stay with us. We have a surprise coming back. Nastia Lukin joins us. Stay with us. We'll be right back on the SEC Network. Welcome back to Coleman Coliseum. We promised you a special guest. That's Nastia Lukin. If you don't know who she is, 2008 Olympic all-around champion. Nastia, thank you so much for joining us today. So what have you seen so far?
As I never had a chance to compete in college gymnastics, and so many of my teammates and so many of my friends have, and I've come to gymnastics competitions obviously in college. This is my first time here in Alabama, so it's like the energy is just crazy. I mean, it reminds me of a national championships on the elite level, but it's just another home meet, you know, so it's been really cool to see, and obviously they're about halfway through the season, so I mean, again, I don't have much insight, you know, for Alabama, but I feel like they're doing a great job, and it's just been, as a fan of the sport, I think it's so cool to come out here and see how excited people are to watch the sport.
Why are you here in Tuscaloosa?
So I actually have a speech tomorrow, and then I was talking to Dana, and you know, obviously with Reed Bama Reed, I got a chance to come out to some of the schools, the local schools out here, and speak to the kids. So that was really fun, and then I got to talk to the girls earlier today in the locker room and just spend a little bit of time with them. So it's been a great weekend so far.
Awesome, good deal, good deal.
What did you say to the girls in the locker room?
Well, you know, I think obviously they're trained, they're prepared, they're ready to compete, and they have a great group of coaches and staff that are helping them get ready. But, you know, I think for me it was always important to not let those disappointments or, you know, those quote-unquote failures really get to you. And for me that was not making my second Olympic team. And I feel like, you know, that actually was a big learning lesson of my career and my life. So I kind of told them to take those and use them as lessons instead of as disappointments.
Well, I'm sure they took so much from your speech. And here's Keely McNear, the 2015 All-American on beam. She's also first team and All-SEC on beam.
Another event that Keely leads Alabama off on. One of three that she does that. She is the solid, she's their rock. And Alabama is the beam team. And as we all know, beam is what wins national championships for college. So if you have that event tucked away early in the season, you can figure everything else out.
I've always kind of felt like this event too is, you know, they're all physically prepared. It's really, as you know, it's a mental game, you know, and so that's kind of who comes out on top, and they've done a great job of mentally preparing, not even just physically preparing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nastia, you are the expert here. Feel free to weigh in.
Tell us what you see. Tell us what nice dismount.
That's
stuck
what
the
you're
landing.
looking for.
It's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Take another look at the dismount here for Keely McNear. You'll see a lot more athletes doing this 1.5. Seems to be a little bit easier to stick, so you don't want to give away any tenths.
Over to floor for Boise State. Paige Urquhart, 9.850 is her average this season, and this is an event that both coaches for Boise State are adding tips to from this meet here on out because they want to up the difficulty and get their higher scores.
That's right. They said every athlete is going to be opening with a E-level opening pass, so we'll see how that goes, this being probably their weakest event out of all four. So we'll see how they can do a front double twist. It looks easy, but that's actually a pretty difficult pass. Floor exercise also tends to be kind of a crowd favorite because you get to see the personalities of the different athletes and them kind of showcasing what they're about.
Nastia, what did you think about that second pass?
Well, it was great. Obviously, a connection pass is something that you have to have, so those can be, kind of tricky sometimes. But, as Ashley said, it's like the floor exercise is always so fun, I think, for a fan to watch because you really get to kind of get in with the music and the dance and the artistry, and it's a combination of everything with the power and all in one. So, I mean, for me now, not competing, it's my favorite to really sit back and watch.
Yeah, and you see so many athletes, too, that come from elite level in international competition, then they get to college, and they're so serious.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, like, hard to get them to smile.
Yeah.
And then finally, I mean, how can you not with a crowd like this here? You just kind of let loose and have fun, and gymnastics kind of becomes fun.
Here's her final pass.
Front 1.5, also known as a Rudy. A good solid start for Boise State on floor.
Over on beam, Keely McNear just hit a 9.850. Freshman Winter Childers will follow her up. Her season high is a 9.925.
One of the things that's unique about her on this event is you will see her out loud talking to herself during the routine. Nastia, did you ever do that? I don't think so. Out loud, right?
In my head. Yeah, I mean, throughout the entire routine, there were just little things that I would tell myself before every skill. That way you're not, thinking about it as a whole. It becomes a little overwhelming if you do. So, one skill at a time, and there's always those little things on each skill. But, yeah, never out loud.
Yeah, I thought it was the most odd thing when I saw it, but she is talking while she's up there, saying all her key thoughts. But it works for her.
It works, exactly. It works for her.
Nastia, you're a world champion on beam. Winter Childers was the 2012 Nastia Lukin balance beam champion.
She was. I know it was so fun to see. Actually, a few of the girls have competed at my cup, which is actually next weekend. So it was really cool because I've gotten to know them over the years. And then, of course, some of the girls from the elite level. But I remember talking to her at the Nastia Lukin Cup, and she was telling me how excited she was to finally start her collegiate career here at Alabama. So it's great to see that she's doing so well here.
She'll get set for her dismount.
There goes another 1.5 dismount. Doesn't quite get the stick, but puts together a really solid routine. So Alabama's showing why they're ranked 3rd on this event. Take another look at the dismount, 1.5. A little off center. You definitely want to be square with the beam. The judges may take a little bit of a deduction for that.
Coach Duckworth loved it.
She did. She gets into these beam routines, I tell you. She stands down there at the end of the beam and just focused and trained in.
Paige Urquhart with a 9.8. Shawnee Remy will follow her up on floor. She's a second team all MRGC on floor. Her season high is a 9.875.
Now what's that MRGC again? Testing you.
Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference, Ashley. Tested me. Took me a second.
Good job.
Shani's career high is a 9.9. Nice first pass there.
She runs right into her front double twist. Pretty difficult. Boise State talking about how much they love competing here at Coleman Coliseum. They don't get these big crowds, as they said, outside of regionals, which was here last year, so they really kind of relish in it and show off their routines. And just enjoy these educated gymnastics fans that we have here at Coleman Coliseum.
Something else Coach Bird told us was that this is her favorite team she's ever coached. She said they're fun, they're energetic, they're loving. I guess you've got to be all in, and their team is getting so much better year after year.
Absolutely. I mean, college gymnastics as a whole is just becoming so much more competitive. It's crazy.
What have you seen, Nastia?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree because I feel like just the level of great routine there, the level of skills, just like it's almost very similar to elite gymnastics. Some of the skills that these girls are doing are the skills that you could see at a World Championships or an Olympic Games, which is great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yurchenko double fulls on ball, and they're sticking them.
I mean, we saw a few Yurchenko 1.5s, and that's the ball that did at the Olympics, so it's crazy.
We just saw Remy's final pass as we go back over to beam. Freshman Maddie Desch will follow a 9.85 and a 9.75 scores on beam. Her season high is a 9.875.
Coach Duckworth says that Maddie is finding the love of gymnastics again and truly performing and just having fun. So beam, not necessarily an event that you generally have too much fun on. You're more focused when you're up there, but she's doing a good job. With Kiana Winston out of this lineup tonight, everyone's going to need to step up and kind of do their part.
What are you most looking for in beam, Nastia?
Well, I think, confidence is huge. I think, as Ashley just said, like, it's not necessarily always the most fun because it's a little nerve-wracking. And, again, you have to take one skill at a time, but really just making sure that you're in the moment and you don't rush from one skill to the other, making sure you finish that skill. Great dismount. Difficult dismount.
Yeah.
A combination, 2 back handsprings into that 1.5. So,
we can take another look at that dismount again. Not something you usually see. Combination. She does a back handspring step out, 2 foot into a 1.5 twist. And as you can see, Bama really fighting for all those landings. At this point in the season, that is so important to not give any tenths away.
And I remember she did that dismount with, I believe she did it with a double flip at the end in Elite, but kept those 2 back handsprings on, which again, adds more difficulty.
Mackenzie Binion now on floor, the senior. She's a first-team All-MRGC. And her season high is a 9.850.
Arabian double front. Saw her warm that up. It was beautiful. She literally just gets all the height in the world and falls down into that landing.
She has competed on floor every single meet this season.
Switch side, straddle jump, full combination there. Judges definitely would look for just a little more extension on that leap pass, not quite the full straddle. So they could take a little deduction after that, but what a fun routine.
So Nastia, before I said Boise State's trying to add tenths to their floor routine. What's some of the ways they could do that, and what have you seen?
Well, right with that opening pass, that Arabian double front, that's definitely, I haven't seen her obviously compete earlier in the season, but that's a very difficult pass. So it's things like that, and not even the tumbling passes though, but I think people don't realize you can also add tenths on the leaps, the turns, the artistic side of that floor routine. And then of course, like we always talk about, it's the landings, avoiding those steps, avoiding those hops. Doesn't seem like a lot because you're not actually adding difficulty, but making sure that you're not, taking those tenths away from your score.
Absolutely. You see a lot more athletes, like you're saying, Nastia, landing and not moving an inch. Like they keep their feet glued together, no lunge back to step. That makes a difference.
Here's the first pass you were just talking about.
That's right. It was a huge Arabian double front, legs glued together, just falls down.
And that's tricky because she lands, it's called a blind landing, so she's not quite able to spot the ground, and you really have to, your technique really has to be on point in order to make it on your feet.
Here's Abby Armbrecht on beam, circling back to Kiana Winston. This is the gymnast stepping up for the All-American Kiana Winston, who is out resting a shoulder injury. This is only the second time this season Abby Armbrecht has competed on beam.
So this is where that depth is being tested for Alabama that Coach Duckworth has talked so much about. Front aerial, feet jump, nice combination there. You don't want any pauses between that. She did a good job of connecting that. Displaying some of that artistry there. And again, Dana said that Abby is the most improved from last year of any athlete on this team. Spring, layout, step out. Slight balance check, but she covered it well. Split jump.
Her last outing, she got a 9.825 as she gets ready for her dismount.
One and a half twist, and doesn't give anything away on that landing.
Stuck it. So Abby Armbrecht replaced Kiana Winston on beam, and different athletes have been replacing Kiana in every single event. But this is what Alabama is missing today.
That's right. Kiana has the ability to put up some huge scores. And even though on vault, that's just her season high, she can score above a 9.9 on that event too, ladies and gentlemen.
At 10 on floor. Love that. No, Coach Duckworth does. She's one of only 3 gymnasts that have scored a 10 on the floor this season. Now back over to floor. Ann Stockwell will follow scores of 9.85, 9.8, and 9.77 by Mackenzie Binion. She competed on floor towards the end of last season, and now she's back into the rotation.
Another front double twist. Giving us a little smile there, but still trying to focus on that second pass. Whip half, front full.
Boise State is very focused tonight.
Yes, they really would like to put up a big road score to help out their rankings in the RQS. Close out that bid to nationals. That would be quite a accomplishment for this team after going 15-0 last season.
Yep, it'd be the first time in program history, and they want it. And so does Ann Stockwell. Let's take a look at those top 12 scorers. Alabama there at number 4 with a 196.965 RQS. Boise State number 12 with a 196.330 RQS.
Absolutely. So again, a big road score for Boise State really could catapult them up into the top 10 again.
Oklahoma LSU sit atop the standings. As we go to Asia Sims, who uncharacteristically fell on bars in the last rotation, but here she is on beam. She's the NCAA regional champion back in 2014, and she's placed first on beam twice this season.
Asia has some of the most beautiful leaps. She really goes above and beyond on the extension. There's her flight series. A handspring layout. She is solid on that. She looks really settled in. Straddle quarter.
And you know, this kind of goes back to that mental test, because especially after you have a mistake on that event before, you could get frustrated and could get, you know, a little bit upset over yourself or your performance. But, you know, she's so far showing that she can put that beside her and move on and do a great routine even when she could be frustrated when it really counts.
Absolutely. And as a senior and a team leader, that's definitely what you look for. Oh. A little under-rotated on that double tuck, but she did not put her hands down. It will be a deduction. It's unfortunate. She has a little guy and a big guy dismount. She chose to do the big guy, and not quite there. So Asia just a little off tonight, and even off to the side, too.
Just didn't quite get as high as she normally does on that, and was probably also trying to go for the stick at the same time, so under-rotated that.
Back over on floor, Abby Webb in for Sandra Coyantes, who's battling an ACL injury. Abby did not compete in 2015 or 2016. She has competed on floor this season. Her debut was the very first meet. She got an 8.975.
Big double pike to open up. And you will see some of the athletes using that mat on the floor. It just gives them a little bit of extra padding. Taking a lot of landings week in and week out. And that's one thing, Nastia, too, about college gymnastics. I mean, they're going every single week after week after week.
I was just about to say that. I mean, obviously I did not compete, but I don't know how you guys do that every single week because, you know, in elite gymnastics, it's so different. You kind of have those 3, maybe 4 the entire season, and you compete, and then you take a little bit of a break and get ready for the next one. And here, there's no time to have a break or a rest. You're immediately going. You're getting back in the gym, working on those little mistakes, and then getting ready for that next weekend's competition.
But also at the Olympic level, you're working on difficulty, not so much the cleanliness, for lack of a better term. What's the biggest difference for you?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think they're definitely, even as hard as college gymnastics has gotten in the last few years, you know, on the elite level, it's still a little bit more difficult because you have to have those 8 skills that, you know, you have to do the hardest 8 skills, and the scoring system has now changed, so it's definitely a little bit more challenging, but in a different way, because in college, you know, you're not only representing yourself, you're representing an entire team, an entire school, university, and so the pressure, you know, for me sometimes is a little bit greater when you're competing at a college or, you know, like a World Championships or Olympic Games, that team competition. I don't know about you, but I've never felt more pressure than a team competition. When you're just individually competing, it's just on you.
I agree, 100%.
You know, when it's a team, you don't want to let your teammates down because that's the worst feeling in the world.
Absolutely.
Asia Sims did hit a 9.7, and that disrupted dismount a moment ago. But here is one of the toughest beam performances in the entire country. Nikki Guerrero, this is her favorite rotation. She's gotten first on beam 4 times this season.
She does a triple flight series by handspring, layout, layout.
Just
and
beautiful.
I feel so comfortable talking during her routine because she is so solid. It's unbelievable. She is a beam queen.
And she makes that opening combination look so easy, and it is not easy. You know, doing those 3 skills in a row, you have to be dead on.
Absolutely. She just shows this routine off. Only one slight balance check on that lead pass, but I mean, she is solid, consistent, and reliable for this Alabama beam lineup to close it out. Just the dismount left. She'll do a 1.5 and nails that landing. That'll be a big score.
Her score last week was a 9.975 against Auburn.
Yes.
Career high.
She deserved a 10 at that meet, actually. One judge gave it to her. The other one just wasn't having a good day. But she, there's that dismount, and Nikki has some of the best reactions.
Something you don't really see in elite gymnastics.
Not at all. You're like, thank goodness I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. In your head, you're doing that, but here you actually show it.
Well, we just got word that Boise State is not having a 6th performer on floor, so Alabama will head back to floor. Boise State will be on beam. Nastia Lukin is hanging out. She's sticking around. You stick around too. Welcome back to Coleman Coliseum. It's Princess Night. We're having so much fun here in Coleman Coliseum, looking at the scores through 3 rotations. Alabama on top, 147.525 to Boise State's 147.375. And we've been joined by Nastia Lukin the last rotation. Nastia, what are your overall thoughts?
It's been so much fun. I mean, I loved being able to watch Alabama on balance beam, and as you kind of said, that's the event where they really excel. And a few bobbles, a few uncharacteristic mistakes, but now to be able to go out and close it out on floor, you know, at a home meet, there's nothing like it. So I'm sure they're going to do great.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It was awesome having you.
Thank you.
Well, let's take a look at some gymnasts that are excelling around the league. These are the SEC Gymnasts of the Week. Rachel Dixon from UGA, Ashley Nat from LSU, and Kennedy Edney, LSU. She's the Freshman of the Week.
All outstanding athletes. LSU has an amazing program this season. They're going to be definitely ones to watch, and Ashley Nat is one of those athletes that's just amazing.
Once again, through 3 rotations, Alabama on top, 147-525 to Boise State's 147-375. We will have Alabama on floor, the Broncos on beam next on the SEC Network. Monday, SEC Inside gives you an all-access pass to Mississippi State and Alabama men's basketball for never-before-seen footage and sounds from the season so far. Inside the Bulldogs at 9 p.m. Eastern and the Tide at 9:30 right here on the SEC Network, also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. Well, right here it is Prince and Princess Night in Coleman Coliseum. For number 4, Alabama versus number 12, Boise State. Here are your scores across 3 rotations. Just finished up on 4. Boise State 49-125, Alabama 49-150, and Alabama on top. Ashley, what have you seen?
This is a pretty close meet. I mean, you want to be, as the home team, going into the last rotation in the lead on floor. So they should be okay if they just do their job on floor. That depth is going to be tested. And Boise State has done a really good job. They're going to put up a good score if they can hit beam.
Well, Diana Mejia will start things off for Boise State on beam, the senior. She did 9.9. That was her season and career high. She shared the win on beam last week against Utah State. She was also the co-beam specialist of the week with Sarah Means, who we see will be in the 5 spot.
Yep. Coach Tina Bird said that they are stronger this season on beam, and she believes that this may be the best team in the history of Boise State on this event. She said also they had an amazing practice this week. An interesting flight series there, side aerial into a back handspring, very different. Switch lead, jump full, and although that little jump she just did with a full circle looked pretty easy, that is very difficult to do on the balance beam. So pretty impressive start for Boise. This is their first routine up, and she's throwing some major difficulty up there.
Very steady. She's a co-captain voted by the teammates.
Looks like she's got just the dismount left. Gearing up for it. They'll fight for those landings. That popular 1.5, and they could take a little bit on that landing, but good start for Boise State on the balance beam.
Unfinished business, Ashley.
Just take another look at that flight series. A side aerial to a back handspring. Very different combination, unique and artistic, and she nailed it.
Some Boise State fans here all the way
That's
from Idaho.
Right. They're here.
Over on the floor for Alabama, here's Amanda Jetter. She's competed on floor 2 times this season with a high of 9.850. Her average 9.71.
One of the things to look for from this Alabama floor lineup is going to be their big opening tumbling passes and how they land. Through the season, they have had some kind of deep, squatty landings. We want them to be high up like that double Arabian we saw from the Boise State athlete that I kept talking about. So we'll see how she does here. Double Arabian. You see that kind of like a deep squat. She's had some injuries, and I think that kind of contributes to that a little bit. So hopefully by postseason, she'll be nailing those a little bit better.
You can hear the crowd getting a little bit louder as Alabama gets on floor. This is what they're here for.
That's right. They love this apparatus.
Here's her second pass.
1.5 twist, front full. She dances right out of it, and she almost went over the line there. Kind of having a little laugh with the team there.
After the first meet of the season, she actually changed her music back to this, which is last year's music. She told Coach Duckworth after competing against Oklahoma, I'm just not feeling it. So they went back to her old music.
So obviously she's feeling it now.
Yep. So it's just more upbeat, it's more fun. It's a more Amanda Jetter's personality. Here's her final pass.
And you want the athlete to be comfortable out there. And if she, can good, solid finish on that last pass. But if she feels comfortable enough to go up to the coach and say, hey, look, this is not working for me. And look, they come up with a solution. Let's take a look at that first pass, that double Arabian, so you can see you don't want to land in a deep, deep squat you see here. She kind of really is low. They're going to take a little bit of a deduction on that.
Back over on beam. Deanna Mejia put up a 9.85, and here's Paige Urquhart. She won the beam last week against Utah State. Matched her season high 9.85.
Really aggressive beam worker. She kind of gets after it. And the more college gymnastics you watch, the more you'll kind of get to see the different types of beam workers there are. There's ones that are kind of slow and methodical. Some are very aggressive. You saw Mary Lillian Sanders talking to herself and giving the cues. She kind of goes after it. Her teammates are very vocal over there on the sidelines. You can hear them cheering her on. That famous 1.5 dismount stuck the landing. Even though it's a blind landing, they find that on beam for some reason.
Alabama on top of Boise State here in Coleman. But let's take a look at scores around the league tonight. Number 13, Missouri versus number 3, Florida. Florida beat Missouri, and number 1, Oklahoma defeated Georgia.
OU defeated UGA, put up a pretty big score as well, 197-375.
Number 2, LSU versus number 14, Auburn, going on right now on the SEC Network. But here is Ari Guerra on floor, the sophomore from League City, Texas. It's her 6th performance on floor this season. Her high is a 9.9.
See that face there?
She's a fun one to watch.
Yes, she is. She's very intense and into this routine. Actually has the ability to do a double layout, which they probably will put in postseason. So Alabama, one of those teams that always finds a way to peak at the right time. It had some struggles, but when it comes down to it, they're always out there on the last night with a chance to win a national title. And that's always the goal for Alabama, for Boise, for any team competing. 1.5 twist to a front layout. She'll get some bonus for that combination. Ari has overcome so much, Coach Duckworth says, competing with 4 screws in her back.
Wow.
It's amazing what these athletes overcome to represent
both
their
teams
schools.
Have injuries right now, some fighting through them.
Absolutely.
The depth on both of these teams is incredible, though.
But just the grit and intensity of these athletes is pretty amazing. Huge double pike to end. Crowd goes wild.
Crowd loved that.
That'll be a big score for Alabama. Take another look at that first pass. You can see here how much extra space she gets on all the heights. She lands with her chest up. She can do that in a laid out position.
Go back over to the beam for Boise State. Here's Shani Remy. She will follow Paige Urquhart's 9.775. And she actually won the beam at the Tuscaloosa Regional last season with a 9.9, punching her ticket to the NCAA championship where she tied for 29th.
Pretty impressive resume there on this event. She's nailing this routine so far, really focused. There's that required full turn she just completed. You'll see every athlete do that in some form or another in their routine, and she adds a little moonwalking in there on the balance beam.
How many points does that get you, Ashley?
It's no points, but just the artistry. It adds to the artistic score for the judges. Some uniqueness there.
Something as simple as the moonwalk on a balance beam. There's no way I could even do that.
Some people get up and they're like, how do you even, they can even stand up here?
4 inches across.
That's right. 4 inches wide, ladies and gentlemen. Coach said that part of the reason this theme team is so good is some of the athletes started training in the summer. Another 1.5 dismount. That is the popular college theme dismount this season, it seems. Let's take another look at that. Stays nice and square. Fights for the landing. Team real happy with that performance from her on that apparatus.
Back over on the floor, Maddie Dash will follow Ari Guerra's 9.875. She's competed every meet on floor as a freshman with her high 9.925.
She also opens up with an E-level pass, that Arabian double front. Last week she did this against Auburn and landed it beautifully, not in a deep squat. We'll see how she does tonight. Once again, she's got that figured out for the season. Right into that second pass. 1.5. Front layout, half. A little jump, and then a front flip. A real fun pass. The crowd really gets into that one.
No, just a freshman, but she was a member of the Team USA's gold-winning 2014 World Championship team. So she brings a lot of experience to the team as just a freshman, and all of these new freshmen for Alabama, there are 4 are coming into their own.
Absolutely, and it's the same like we talked about with Nastia. These athletes that come from international competition, you know, they get to college, and it kind of sometimes can take them a little while to loosen up, and then they realize this is really fun. And then it shows. I mean, she's having a blast out there, competing, representing her school. That last pass left, double tuck.
Duck it.
And she sticks it, does not move an inch.
Very nice performance for the freshman Maddie Dash.
And we love that reaction. Coach Duckworth loves that enthusiasm and that reaction.
We'll take a look at that second pass. Again, the one that made the crowd stand up.
That's right. She does a 1.5 twist to a front layout, half, front tuck, and a split jump. And that last pass, you see the reaction from the crowd there. They're really into it.
They were just chanting Tims, the crowd. Back over on beam, Sarah Means will follow a 9.875. From Shani Remy.
Some good solid scores from Boise State on the balance beam.
Coach Bird said she's the most consistent beam performer they have.
And I can see why. She's been solid ever since she stepped on this apparatus. Warmed up really nicely as well.
She's also the balance beam specialist of the week with teammate Deanna Mejia.
Just looks really comfortable up there. Front tuck. And this is going to be a big score if she can stick this landing, gainer full off the side. And they've got to be happy with that in the lineup. As a specialist, she did her job well.
Coach Bird was happy with it. Looking for those stuck landings tonight.
That's right. They don't want to give any tenths away.
On floor, here's Nikki Guerrero, who wouldn't normally compete on floor. She's in for Kiana Winston, who is out, of course, struggling with that shoulder. Not so much an injury, maybe just a bothersome shoulder. They're going to rest for the postseason. She hit her high, Nikki Guerrero did at Florida, with a 9.9.
And this is a crowd favorite. This routine is just jam-packed with attitude, funness, dance. She's got a big opening tumbling pass. Actually, they changed it. She just does a double pike, has the ability to do a full twisting double pike. She really gets after it out there.
matter what apparatus she's on. She brings more energy than anyone on the Alabama team.
She really does. She just has a really good time out there. She loves competing, and she has that X factor of the confidence. You see how well she performs beam. Nice second pass there. Last pass. 1.5 twist, also known as a Rudy. Crowd loves that routine. And she has the ability to put in some more difficulty.
She has 5 scores of 9, 9, 5 or better this season. We'll see what she gets here. Here's her second pass.
Of 1.5 to a front full. Nice combination there. Dances right out of it.
Over on beam, Sarah Means just got a 9.875. Here's Alex Esmerian. It's the first time we've seen her tonight, and beam is her specialty. She made her career debut last week against Utah State. She had a 9.625. Looking to do a little bit better than that today,
Absolutely.
Ashley?
She would probably, as a beam specialist, would love to do better than a 9.6. Had a really interesting flight series there. She actually did one of the back handsprings in that combination on one arm. If you're not looking really close, you might have missed it. A little bit of artistry, a little bit of difficulty as well on that flight series.
Coach Bird said even though she got that 9.625, she got a 9.92 on her exhibition the first week that she ever competed, and she's been a surprise. She's worked really hard in practice and worked her way to the beam performance tonight.
Absolutely. You have to start somewhere. A lot of these athletes, as you mentioned, will exhibition just to try to earn a spot in the lineup. There's that famous round off 1.5, dismount, stuck landing. Let's take a look at that flight series of hers again. You see that handspring, watch, one arm into a layout. Very difficult combination and solid. You see the coach's reaction there. She is so excited for this athlete. And she loves every single one of them.
That's assistant coach Patty Resnick, Neil Resnick's wife. Back over on floor, Katie Bailey will follow a 9.825 by Nikki Guerrero. She's competed on floor 3 times this season. Her eye is a 9.850.
Double Arabian. And she was going for that stuck landing and opened up just a little early.
This is the 3rd time that she's anchored a rotation. What does that say about Katie Bailey?
That says that her gymnastics is solid, clean, and they trust her. When it comes down to it, you want that person in that final spot that's going to be able to put up a big score and do it cleanly and finish off a meet or an event, a rotation. After her hip injury, and she had hip surgery, you know, they knew it would take a while for Katie to hit her full speed, but she's making progress daily so that she can be confident and dependable. And I think with her going last, like we just talked about, has shown that.
Great performance from Katie Bailey. You can't say enough about the senior.
Absolutely. I mean, and you're kind of at this point here where you're counting down the days to where you're almost done. So kind of savor every
living
single moment. That's right.
Here's her first pass.
You see that double Arabian. She has plenty of height, good position, but you see she lets go of her legs just a little too early, going for that landing. She has to take a small step back. But finishes off with a front 1.5. Nice landing, spots the floor, finishes off strong.
So Courtney McGregor, we saw her scratch once before, and now she will scratch beam. So we will go back to floor for Alabama, but right here is an exhibition for Boise State.
So this score will not count.
This is Ann Stockwell.
And again,
she has not competed on beam at all this season, so
what an opportunity for her in front of this crowd here at Coleman Coliseum to get some experience. I mean, you talked to Coach Duckworth about testing the depth, missing Kiana Winston tonight. They've been doing it on every single event, throwing somebody out there. Nikki Guerrera, as you saw on the floor, did a good job of filling those shoes.
So Ann Stockwell in her first ever beam exhibition. She has not competed on beam this season. Courtney McGregor did not decide to go on beam. We do not know why, but here is Ann Stockwell.
Yeah, there's a double twist dismount, a little more difficulty. So good exhibition performance. Her teammates really excited for her. That may earn her a spot in the lineup because that was a pretty difficult routine.
And Asia Sims. She will anchor the floor for Alabama. She is the very last competitor here tonight, and floor is one of her specialties. She has a high of 9.975 this season. She's 10th in the nation right now on floor, coming off a win against Auburn last week.
That's right, and Asia's kind of had a little bit of an off night tonight with the fall-on bars and the rocky dismount off-balance beam, so this is definitely an event where she can overcome that and just have a good time and enjoy competing at home and close out this floor lineup for Alabama.
She did not compete last week. She was out with injury. That win came against the Elevate the Stage meet. Here's her second pass.
Double pike.
That smile.
Feet nailed together, that's right. And this is another crowd favorite floor routine.
Her music is so fun as well.
It really is.
Coach Duckworth told us she'd get some of her moves from Carly Sims, who graduated last year. Carly had a lot of spunk, and now Asia does too.
1.5 twist, front layout, stuck landing again. She's really going after those every 10th on those landings. Just the last pass left. This would be huge if Asia could close off this meet. She's stuck every single pass, feet together. Good job from the senior.
Great performance. You can hear the crowd.
That was an awesome performance from Asia.
We'll take a look at her second pass. Congratulatory hug from Coach Duckworth.
Very nice, clean pass, 1.5 twist to a front layout. And as you can see, she sticks it. She doesn't take a lunge or a step, nothing. And she did that on all 3 passes, so that should be a pretty big score. Crowd 1 out of 10. You can kind of hear them booing a little bit.
We'll wait to find what Asia Sims got. We have some other updates on floor scores. Katie Bailey, 9.8. Ari Guerra, 9.875. Maddie Desch, 9.925. Amanda Jetter, 9.85. As we await Asia Sims' score, Ashley, what did you see tonight?
I saw an Alabama team that definitely still has some room for improvements. As we talked about, there's still skills that they're kind of holding off until the postseason. So I think that they're going in the right direction. They'll peak at the right time. Boise State, I think that they can be very excited about what they did here tonight. I think they put up a solid road score that's definitely going to help them coming off that 195 against Denver last week. So I think it was a good competition tonight. The crowd enjoyed it, and it was fun.
We'll get a final score when we come back. Welcome back to Coleman Coliseum. It was number 4 Alabama versus number 12 Boise State. For Princess Night, we had a lot of fun. Alabama just beat the Broncos. Ashley, what are your overall thoughts?
I think it was a good meet for both teams. Like I said, Alabama still has some improvements they can make, and Boise State came up in Coleman Coliseum and put up a good road score like they wanted to do to help their RQS.
Let's take a look at some of the best highlights from tonight. We'll start with Katie Bailey. Here she is on vault with a 9.8.
As the defending NCAA champion on this event, she came through tonight sticking that landing.
Nikki Guerrero on beam 985. This is her specialty, one of the most difficult beams in the country.
Absolutely. She, time and time again, week in and week out, performs.
And the freshman, Maddie Desch, on floor with a 9.925.
Big tumbling for her. Fun combination. And closes it off beautifully. A stuck landing on that last pass.
So Alabama goes 5-4 on the season. Boise State goes 7-4. The final score is 196.925 for Alabama, 196.675 for Boise State. So for Ashley Miles Krieg, I'm Hannah Chalker saying so long from Tuscaloosa, where that final score once again is 196.925 Alabama to 196.675 Boise State. A program reminder, our next gymnastics telecast here on the SEC Network Plus is in 2 weeks. Iowa State visits Tuscaloosa to take on the Crimson Tide. To watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of the SEC ESPN Network. Thanks for joining us.